Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody doing tonight? It's a wild, wild, wild world. What was that movie? It's a mad, mad, mad world. Well, it sure does seem that way, the way things are going. And you see my thumbnail, I've got Secret Service booms. What do I mean by that? Well, I've talked in the past about the Secret Service and the role they're playing. How you doing, Mike? Now we figured out your code there. We figured that out. Nikki said yesterday that she figured it out. Or I mean, not yesterday, but the last time we broadcasted. Ha ha ha. So we got that figured out, buddy. And hopefully people in chats will figure it out, but they won't type it in. Ha ha. It's beautiful. Yeah, it sure is. So anyway, we've got some competing shows on tonight. I don't call mine a show, call it a broadcast. I don't put on shows. I'm not a dancing bear. Uh, I do broadcasts. How you doing, B-Dog? So the Secret Service, I tell you, hi, Doc. I'm just going to mention something that not a lot of people thought about since it happened. But that incident where the Secret Service cars got all burned up, the rental cars, if you think about it, that was when Biden was going on to a vacation in Rehoboth. And, he's gone through his Secret Service staff and taking out the people he doesn't trust or doesn't get along with. And but he can't do that with every one of them. But you got different duties you have to do. And if you're doing walking around, making sure, outside perimeter and you're not privy to anything going on in meetings and stuff like that, you kind of get the mushroom treatment. But you're still on the Secret Service. You got to get rental cars to ride around in. You're not high up in the opinion of the primary, the person they're trying to protect, right? So there might be a reason for that. That distrust and dislike of certain members of the service. So when you think about what I talked about before, what the Secret Service does, one of the things they're in charge of is tracking money laundering, right? Hi, Nikki. Hi, Melinda. Hi, Kelly. Sharon. Quilt. Everybody's coming in. Finding Dory. How are you doing? So, hi, Richard. Ha ha. I'll give you some good news, Richard. We woke up this morning. It was a beautiful day. And it's going to get even better. The best is yet to come. But anyway, we've heard, or most of us have heard, and I might get a clip of it one day, where Biden was on the phone with Poroshenko from Ukraine. I'm bringing this up for a reason. He out now told him that what he needed to do, hide stuff from Trump before Trump got too sophisticated, and that it would be for his own personal well-being. Namely, he was not above making a personal menacing statement to the president of another country. So what do you think? What do you think he'd do with somebody on the service that he didn't trust, being as they're in charge of keeping track of money laundering? Maybe give him a little warning. Just saying, about those cars, about those agents that weren't trusted enough to be very, very close, ride around rental cars, go on vacation trips and stuff. Okay. Just something to think about, because the Secret Service is in charge of money laundering. And all we have heard about this entire situation with James Biden, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden has been nothing but money laundering. I'm just seeing who. Hi, Tennessee. How you doing? Hi, Maria. Hi, brighter day. So that's an interesting thing. And now we have that he's done a voluntary. Biden has done a voluntary raid. Yeah, go ahead and raid my place. I volunteer. See, I'm different than Trump. You all did an involuntary raid on him. So the BS, the BS from the mainstream media is running out. And we refer to people as normies. And I think we're hitting a tipping point. That's what I should have put in my title, a tipping point, where we can go, hey, wait a minute. These aren't normies. The people that buy this stuff, they're the abnormies. They're abnormal. At some point, granted, right now, there are a lot of people that don't get what's happening, then they're normal people. But I'm going to start using the term not normals. I should have put AB normals. But at some point, when you keep buying this stuff, we got to jump from the term, oh, the normies this, the normies that. No, they're not normal if they believe this stuff. Hi, Joel. Hi, Roy. See what everybody's talking about. So anyway, what do y'all think about this situation in California with the white van? Just something to cogitate on. Put in the chats what you think, in a non-alarming way, a non-keyword way. Do you think that whole situation was a look here, not there news event? Or do you think it was organic? Organic or a OP? Now, I haven't looked into the details of it, and they're going to be. And what are we going to find out about this person? They're expired, but we're not going to get accurate information. Hang says it's an operation. SM says it's an operation. Yep, it's hard not to think that just about everything that comes around, you got to look at it with the side eye. And I don't want to, myself personally, I don't want to fall into a trap where I'm giving everything the side eye and I have no mental peace of mind, but I don't feel I'm overreacting myself if I were to say this was an op. Because I'll tell you, in that community, okay, and CHYNA, okay, they refer to the dance hall and everything as ASIAN, okay. It's that word ASIAN. They're watching B Dog put a letter for vowel, okay. But I should have got that clip of a couple of clips from different creators. Some of them long-time creators talking about how they hate talking in code, but they got to do it because they've tightened stuff up so much. I'm telling you, it's wild. But anyway, that's CHY, B Dog, CCP. Okay, that's not going to get anybody looking at me. No, that's perfectly good. Which it's not. That's the official initials for the outfit that owns this site, GOOGLE FB TIC TOC I don't see it getting taken down. Boy, I tell you, it's tougher and tougher to do this stuff. And especially when I sit there and I watch the news and I see that moron who lost an election. I don't know the details. I don't even know what office he was running for, but he's got two officers on either side of him. He's handcuffed. There's talk of gunplay. And he's got a smile on his face. And he's supposed to be a Republican. And some of the stuff I hear on YouTube, I can't say that that's all set up and all op. Some of them are just out and out morons. When you try, like Trump has said, law and order, that we have to get back to the Constitution over and over, that he was a wartime president. We are a nation at war. I'm fighting an invisible enemy. People say, well, nothing's going on. This stuff has been years in the making. This battle has been going on. There are people fighting. And for people to, like this guy in Tennessee, if he took it upon himself to do something with gunplay over that election, as I said before, if that's the case, I don't care if he stays there for 50 freaking years in jail. Everybody that's been taking slings and arrows and living in the boundaries of the law are made to look bad. It's just like I said about the J6 people. If they were up there breaking windows or doing anything violent, I don't care if they're, like I said, whistling Yankee Doodle Dandy, wearing a Uncle Sam hat or what they're, or MAGA hat or any of that. I hope anybody that broke things and committed crimes go to jail. And that's the same thing for anybody else that, like this politician, if he did commit some kind of act, unlawful act, he needs to be in jail and quit calling himself a patriot. Because we know, I mean, anybody that's been paying attention knows that this is an ongoing operation, knows that this is an ongoing military operation. Anybody that's been paying attention. And it's getting to the point where it's nauseating, where people say, well, nobody's doing nothing. Do these people know how many people lost their lives during these operations? How many overseas assets we may have that have lost their lives, that got discovered? And it's been over and over that you just can't take down the top tier of creepos and let the rest run into the shadows and never be caught for another 50 years. This is our one shot to get them all. And it isn't going to get done by a bunch of yucca bucks running around hollering that people need to do this and we need to do this. No, you need to abide by the law. Use your brain. It's like Trump was saying with the thing that goes in your shoulder. People had a choice. He did his best with everything against him. The media, big pharma, the bureaucratic structure, under threat of impeachment, under threat of arrest. He did everything he could to give us the word, keep your free will. He talked about alternatives. He was censored. He was attacked. And people still want to blame him. You know, it gets to the point where it's a little bit sickening. Who am I missing? Hi, KNS. How you doing? But anyway, this stuff has been going on for years. And it has been said that there were two times where a lot of people, operatives, people in our service members, were discovered and paid the ultimate price. And one of them was when Hillary let some documents get out to China. CHYNA. So this is a dangerous game. It's a worldwide game. That's right, Mike. I'm reading Mike's back in the day of Moses, all the doubters. They wandered for 40 years, eating manna. Or they could have stayed with the Pharaoh, get whipped in the back, and keep dragging them blocks. Hi, Sinsin. So I'm a little bit animated because of some of the events and things that I've heard. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I hear people getting bold. It's odd to me that some of us, we see this stuff being put out in front of the normies, which I'll soon be calling abnormies if they don't get it. The one thing that they do, well, I do at least, I feel encouraged. I feel energized when I see who's that one with the picture? Here she is, Jamie Lee Curtis. She gets exposed, okay? It turns out that she deleted her post where she didn't even realize this sickening, degenerate picture was on her wall. And she gets exposed, and it doesn't go through any filter. It doesn't get knocked down every time you talk about it, because it's just the talk of the town. But you put that on top of the clothing company, Balenciaga Lady Gaga, and also her exploits and all the things that are being uncovered. I'm encouraged. But you still hear these people saying, we've got to do something. We got to do something ourselves. Like what? End up in jail for the rest of your life? End up arrested? Doing something stupid, running around on your own? I've been over that. I've been over that many times. In my last broadcast, night before last, I said what George Washington would do with people behaving that way. You sign up with lawful authority. And anyway, so I see two different reactions. Yeah, that's right, Nikki. I got a copy of another picture she had with some people on a staircase. I say people, but I mean little people. And my first instinct is to really feel energized that the things people didn't believe from us are being laid right out there. But then, instead of feeling encouraged, glad that we're being vindicated, what we've been saying is being verified, you've got a portion of people who are saying that we need to do things aggressively and outside the bounds. I don't get it. So anybody listening to me, I hope they get the notion that we're making progress, and for us to stay steady, hold the line, and be law-abiding citizens, and assist this operation as best we can by putting the word out. Information. Ready the memes and share them. And when you talk to somebody who's a normie, even an abnormie, keep your conversation to stuff that's verifiable. What do you think about? Say, hey, what do you think about this thing with Curtis, Jamie Lee? Huh? What do you think? Does that have? Do you think that's got anything to do with these people in Balenciaga, Lady Gaga? Do you see the pictures of the stuff they sell? get them to thinking. Because I saw a good, let me see if I might have to do it from memory, but I saw a good post where somebody said that they had a friend who was as liberal as could be that approached him and was concerned. He quit trying a long time ago, trying to talk to this person about anything but golf or fishing or anything like that. So this person came to him and said, I'm worried about somebody getting sick in my family because we all did that thing that people were told was best for them to do. And he saw that as a big stepping stone in their relationship. That this person, he wasn't glad that that person was concerned or nervous. He wasn't mocking them. He was thankful that they are starting to be concerned, which they should have been from the beginning. And so it's little victories like that, because that person will talk to other people they hang out with that are what we call normies. And they're going to come to people like you and me and ask questions. And if you stick with what we have, that's been published in the news with what they say on the World Economic Forum, what they say from Bill Gates's quotes. Okay, not going off into stuff that you hear on obscure websites that also talk about Vatican time machines or things in Antarctica. That's not the time for this. The time for this is stuff we can verify. Where Rand Paul told Fauci, I think you're complicit in the elimination of 7 million human beings on this earth. That was said on the floor of the Senate. That's nothing people can call you a conspiracist over. Okay? So you got to ready your mind for when people come with questions so you can answer them in a verifiable and rational way. So, oh, Nikki, that's not true. I'm talking about people at work and family members who are just now saying, wait a minute. Because like I said, they don't care unless their own ox is getting gored. And justice will come, folks. I'm reading some comments, and it's going to come. It's going to come. And there are forces that are way more effective than we are when like a group of 6 or 7 guys decide it's time to do something. Yeah, well, that's going to make us all look horrible. And you look how far Trump has come. You look how far the movement has come. Here's one thing that he put out, unstoppable, it says in capital letters. Trump is top choice for voters in 2024, powerfully trouncing all potential rivals. But yet again, you still see DeSantis having a respectable presence, which I've discussed in the past, gives people who aren't sold on Trump, give them another home, but they're still pulling that rope along with us like tug of war. You know how you get everybody who used to be in school, you dig your heels in, y'all pulling that rope? Well, I don't care if they like DeSantis more than Trump as long as they're going to grab that rope and help me pull. So it's healing the party, and we're looking to heal our society. And we're going to have a common concern. We have a common concern. So this business in Atlanta, I don't know if what happened in California was was designed to get people not to watch what they're doing in Atlanta. And my plumber intel told me that if you go, I knew if you went to Anti and the other part is .com, that it went to the Democrat donor, but now it goes straight to the White House, is what I heard. And you've got a whole mess of them living in the woods and been causing problems, causing trouble. One of them got what's that saying? FAFO, okay? With the police, he had a weapon, and he FAFO'd, right? Now they're all going crazy, burning up cars, and they're hardly reporting on the news. If they do, they say it's a peaceful protest. So I don't know if California was meant to distract from that, because as I pointed out in the past, the Georgia political machine is being destroyed, and we've got SCOTUS cases pending. We could hear about them at a number of them at any time. Hi, Tubala. Hi, Lori. Richard. We got two Richards in here today. So I'm encouraging people to look at all the good signs, and you see these signs, and like I say, my reaction is to be energized, to be positive, and like my old coach used to say, you can tell a winner from a loser on during a race. A loser sees the finish line and goes, "Oh, good, there it is," and slows down. The winner sees the finish line and kicks it even harder and runs even faster to get to it. That's what he'd say that about the class. He'd say, I could tell the winners and the losers just watching everybody run that race. Which one sees the finish line and starts slowing down? So I'm seeing the finish line, and I say, keep going like we're going. Kick it in high gear. Ready the memes. Learn what is being put out there for general public consumption that supports what we're saying. So when people come to us, we can emphasize that. I'm not going to talk about the 16 families or 13 families and Moloch and everything. I can get to that later. Right now, what they need to hear is what is being let out in mainstream news is that we've got people meeting in Davos, okay? Davos, that are talking about making us eat bugs and crickets, that are pushing for this type of stuff we've been through for over 2 years being put on our shoulder. Something never heard before in medicine. A booster after BOOSTER over and over again. Never heard of that. How much money is being made by these companies? How many people are getting sick? How many people are reaching their expiration date? That's the kind of things we talk about, and then get them to do their research, because you know why? Because they're going to want to research it to themselves, because they're going to be scared. They're going to be scared for themselves. They're going to be scared for their family, and they should be. I'm just looking at the chats here. Yeah, I see Jamie says they're not taking the US dollar. Is that Saudi Arabia? Nadar from the Middle East. We saw where Saudi Arabia was saying, hey, we don't got to take dollars for oil. We can take whatever's a valid currency. In other words, removing the dollar as what used to be what oil was pegged at, the US dollar. Never before in world history did a country have all the other currencies in the world and the commodity markets for everything pegged to their currency, especially when it was backed by nothing but a bunch of cheap talk and a printing press. Historically ridiculous. So here we go with other countries that are taking their money and backing it with gold. And people, investors are going to be saying, wait a minute, is it true what Putin said, that the dollar is candy wrappers? Am I getting a bunch of candy wrappers? So anyway, we're going to see what comes out with this, what happens in Georgia, Atlanta. But I tell you, Jack Posobiec put out something to give you a little hint and give normal people a little hint. There's somebody called a minority whip, right? Everybody knew who Speaker of the House was. Nancy Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi. Everybody knows Speaker of the House is now Kevin McCarthy, Kevin McCarthy. But what's a minority whip? A minority whip is the head honcho for the Democrat Party because they're in the minority now. When we were in the minority, we had a minority whip. They're the person who goes around, whips up votes, and gets everybody whipped in line to stay together. It's a big position if you're in the minority part of Congress. You're top. Well, son of Democrat House Minority Whip Catherine M. Clark, her son arrested for assaulting a cop during a Boston and the other word is fa, attempt. Charged with assault by means of a dangerous weapon, destruction of or injury of personal property, and damage of property by graffiti, tagging. Okay? So there's a picture of this person, and they got a selfie that I can only say is purposely made for them to look kind of demonic. And about an hour after that post, Posobiec says, I have to apologize. The son of the minority whip now identifies as a daughter. The daughter of the minority whip. So I apologize. And then he says, for nothing after that. But this kind of stuff is letting people know. Like what happened in Loudoun County schools twice. What's happening in so many school districts with young people. It's happening in Congress at the highest levels. And people who are traditional liberals, traditional Democrats, and they don't realize how much of a inroads that these radicals have done, and they have taken over the Democratic Party. They've taken over John F. Kennedy's party, Hubert Humphrey's party. All these people are memories. And they're all striving for a hedonistic agenda. That's what I settled in. I talked about it. I talked about it on many of my past broadcasts. Hey, that's the definition. Okay, hedonism. Hedonism. I'm not going to get into any kind of religious thing or arguments or anything. Even Merriam-Webster, with all the changes they're doing books, all you got to do is look up the word hedonism. And there's other terms, but that's the one I prefer. It stays away from religion. It stays away from a specific religion. It stays away from a lot of things. So, that's the way they want to behave. And that's what they want to push on the country. People can decide. Normies can decide for themselves. Do they want to push a hedonistic agenda or not? Okay? and they can do their research from there about historically what happened in the Bible, if they care to. Baal and Moloch. Okay, they can go from there themselves. I don't need to do it. Lori, you're spelling it right out. Putting it all up there. No vowels. No nothing, Lori. Just spelling it right out. So I tell you, it takes hours to get ready for something. Then you have to actually do it. And in the morning, you get a notice. It's gone. It's gone. If not your whole channel, it's gone. Man convicted in a plot to kill Republican congressman. Anybody talking about this? Washington Examiner. Kansas man faces a possible 10-year sentence. None of that's being reported. All this stuff you can find out on Truth, and then the other word is social. But that's a thing a lot of people aren't hearing. And the other thing that we're supposed to buy something called a stroke season. Okay? Not flu season. So that's an article I just looked at. And that is also bolstered by another individual. This guy says, Dr. Raj Bahardwaj tells CBC he didn't even know about this until last year. He's just now finding out that there's a stroke season. The flu brings on strokes. I've never heard that in my life. And the other part of that is they're running around saying solar storms may cause up to 5,500 heart-related deaths in a given year. In an approximate 11-year cycle, the sun blasts out charged particles and magnetized plasma that can distort Earth's magnetic field, which may disrupt our body clock and ultimately affect the heart. So they're already coming up for so-called reasons for these sudden expirations. Okay? Hi, Eggman. Hi, how you doing? How you doing, Jamie? Hi, Robin. How you doing? So anyway, I got to get that complete spelling of New World, and then the last one is order out of there. I was waiting for it to be. Oh, geez, I didn't mean to put it up on the screen. I got it. Oh my God. You know, I'm 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I mean, I can't say it any clearer. And I hint while I'm trying to conduct a broadcast, I hint to change it or take it down, and they don't. And then when I have to do it, it ends up on the screen, makes it even worse. So anyway, you know, after stuff I heard today on different sites about people being aggressive instead of thankful for the inroads we're making, huge inroads and stuff to come about Biden being raided, about Biden having documents dating back to when he was a senator, how they're finding out that there are Chinese operatives hanging around there? Okay. What was he doing stuff when he was a senator? Who else is going to be exposed? That the Secret Service handles money laundering. We're finding all this stuff out. We see the real patriots, the real enlisted people that are putting themselves on the line, are making huge inroads on not just changing the world. I mean, this country, but the world. On. What's going on? That's right, Karen. Dianne Feinstein had a spy. That's CHY. When we spell that word, that country, CHY. Because they own this site. Okay, and they own all the information on GOOGLE. It all goes to that country, and they can monitor. If I put a video in that plays an obscure song from the 1970s before it's uploaded, I got a copyright strike from the company that owns the rights to that song. That's how good the algorithm is, how good the computer is to spot things. So how much do you think it takes them to spot keywords? Just as quick. That's right, Richard. CHYNA. But when you spell the proper name of the country, it puts it right on. And I don't know what else to tell people. I don't know. Put numbers instead of vowels. Don't mention words. You can't bring out the dark ones into the light where they know you're doing it. Anybody with a sixth grade education can understand when I spell CHYNA. They know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't get picked up. It's a nuisance. It's aggravating. I don't like doing it. Mel K put out there an article, Zero Hedge. It's shocking. California's early release of convicted pedophiles. Oh my gosh, there I said that word. P3DO files will lead to more victims. Anyway, this isn't going good, folks. It hadn't been going good. I'm getting too many keywords, and it gets me upset, knocks me off my thought, my train of thought. And I can't fool with it, get myself so aggravated, get my blood pressure up. Some people are new. Try listening to my old broadcasts, and you'll see what I said. You remember I was talking last broadcast that they were pushing to send heavy tanks to Ukraine, and they were threatening to assist UKR in going after Crimea, and Putin has said that would be an act of war. And he said he was going to go for decision-making centers. So the Germans said, no, we're not going to send heavy tanks. We're not going to get that committed, and we're not going to do it. So they sent Lloyd Austin down there to try to twist their arms. And they still wouldn't do it. So the latest report now, this lady, I guess she's a lady. I don't know how she identifies. This general, U.S. general, wants Cuba and Venezuela to send, that's not all, there's 9 countries altogether, to donate their Russian tanks to UKR, and that the Americans will replace those tanks in those 9 countries with our Abrams tanks. So they're trying their best to get heavy weaponry over there. And like Mr. T said, it's going to be, we got idiots running the world, and if we don't watch it, it's going to blow up. Heartbreak Ridge, improvise, adapt, overcome. Nick's Creations. Yeah, that's right. And I hope you're talking about the way I'm talking about. We have to talk. Eggman, you've been sent to Human Resources? Hang, it's already posted. I don't sit here and talk to myself. Hang, I appreciate what you're saying. Just don't post this video. But hey, I take hours of my day to prepare this video, to get information out. And I hope that sometimes I'll have 1,000 viewers, sometimes I have 700, sometimes I've had 4,000. I get a couple of people that don't get it, that listen to me and get it. Okay? And I've done a service then. So I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going through all this just to take a video down, just because I feel like I got to blab my mouth off. I'm not one of these characters that sit around with a 6-pack of beer sloshed around their gut, chain smoking Marlboros, talking about the revolution and how Trump's doing nothing. I'm trying to put the pieces together for people to understand. And I understand what you're saying, to protect the channel, take it down. But it's too much work goes into these things, too much work. And I'm going to start doing like Frank does. Frank on NPC show. He's knocked off more viewers than he has viewers. Thousands of them, he said. Why take the chance? Anyway, since I'm talking about that, this is a viewer-supported broadcast only, other than creator support. I get nothing from YouTube. And as I say, I spend hours a day putting this stuff together. So if you want to help the channel out, I got a buy me a coffee link in the description. And I had, in the past, I had somebody make some kind of snide remark about that, me bringing up the buy me a coffee link. And anybody who thinks that way, I can tell you, I don't see them getting off their backsides and doing their best to talk sense to others to help this country. I hear a bunch of cheap talk from people like that. There we go. Channel Sport link in the description. Thank you. Why am I so angry today? I'm angry. I'm angry because I've seen over the past couple of days, I've seen some very ugly stuff coming out about people who are supposed to be bringing this country to a position where we can exercise justice in a civilized manner. And we're watching an amazing awakening. And we're watching newscasters who cannot continue to look ridiculous by trying to put forth a phony narrative. They're getting boxed in, they can't get around it. And it is a delight to watch. But then out of the blue, something comes up. Like that guy that lost the election and goes down there with a gun. Completely moronic. And I'm wondering if that wasn't an operation. Mike, I hear what you're saying. They could have wrote letters and whistled Dixie till the cows came home. That wouldn't have changed anything. I understand everybody expressing, they got a right to express. But they could have wrote 10 million letters. It wouldn't change it. If it's part of the plan, it's part of the plan. If it's not part of the plan, it's not. If it doesn't fit, I'm sure it was analyzed. That's why I was encouraged to go up there. And it also got millions of eyes on SCOTUS, and it got millions of eyes to read what their complaint was. Because in the big story, what really matters is not what those 9 people decided on that particular day. What mattered was tens of millions of people read the Brunson complaint and understand what's going on that did not understand a month ago. That's what matters. And when something gets put forward that fits in with the program. Yes, Nikki, thank you, honey. Please don't use the. Hey, if everybody hit the like button, I appreciate it. That helps things out too. And if you don't like it, hit the thumbs down, and find something you like to do in life. So, because I'm not changing my position that we are a nation of laws, and that people have been working very hard for years to get out an entrenched opponent, I will say, instead of the word enemy, an entrenched opponent that has got tentacles all around the world. You got to get them and pull them out, those tentacles. And the cure can't be worse than the disease, okay? How to cure from this tentacled growth that's wrapped itself around the world. You got to remove it without harming the patient, or as little harm as possible. Yeah, I saw Wild West earlier since then. And if anybody gets 5 minutes time out, I mean, I did it night before last. I did the night before that, and the 5 minutes is up. Fine, it's like it never even happened. Just come back. But just think about I mean. This is my channel, and I appreciate everybody spending their precious time with me. But spend a little precious time thinking about how to put vowels in, letters in for vowels, and being careful. And think about like a lot of people have, thanks to Aaron, Robin, Kirsten, Wanda, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Pamela, Nikki B, Killer Fuzz. I haven't seen him. Somebody 1 and somebody 2. Thank you so much for supporting the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Now, since if anybody's got a problem with that, they can go to Mike Penny's channel. I'm gonna get a clip from Mike Penny, one of Mike Penny's shows. You won't believe it. I'll save that. I won't tell you about it. I'll save it for when I get that clip. Okay, I'm just looking at chats here. Now, this situation with Biden is blown open. I don't see how he can weather it. Everybody wants him out. Everybody wants him out. And do you think that Kamala is going to be the one to step in there? A couple of weeks ago, I'd have said, nah, they're going to do what they did with Spiro Agnew, get rid of him, and then put a Rockefeller or somebody like that in there. And don't forget, folks, this is a banner I did, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Biden papers, classified docs. How about Delaware's? And I did this last broadcast. That's where they're finding the mother lode. And then the question I had there was nuclear. And then I should have added to it CHYNA. Okay, so I was looking at this stuff from a proper perspective weeks ago. Please no MM. What's the matter, Debbie? Do what? No. Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Debbie. Yeah. Oh, it's funny though. I have to. If I got time, find it and get a clip. I won't find because it's funny. Debbie, it's funny. Hi, Lisa. Cameron. CHYNA is invested. That's right, in San Francisco, longer than any other city in the world. That's why they need to win the Super Bowl. I'll put your comment up because I remember, and most of them have been taken down, where somebody went back in the archives and got videos from the 1980s and the 1990s with Dianne Feinstein bragging about the Cooperating Cities program with, as she would say, Shanghai. She would be so proud of the way she'd say Shanghai instead of the way we say it, Shanghai. Like you get Shanghai, you get thrown in a boat with a bag over your head and get taken off somewhere. But she was bragging about the Cooperative Cities Agreement, which they're doing commerce and foreign policy as senators and trading money in violation, in my mind, of the Logan Act, which is a felony and what they try to hang General Flynn with, and that's going to come back in the picture. And Dianne Feinstein, she's going to be front and center if she doesn't expire. You know, she's old. Okay, folks, I'm coming up on my hour mark. I appreciate y'all so much, and don't get mad at me if I got a little upset, but I won't get into it. But I saw some things that were distressing. I will tell you, hold the line means a lot of things. It also means to keep ourselves upright, upstanding, follow orders, and be lawful in our conduct. Don't stoop to their level. Like Trump said right after J6, he said, don't give them what they want. He said that the day of J6, don't fall into their trap. And that's what hold the line means too, along with everything else. Keep on the full armor of God, keep the faith, live in a law and order society, and learn some of the things we've been discussing, how you can communicate with somebody who's just now starting to wake up, so you can do so in a rational and believable manner, and we can get to the other stuff later on. Okay, folks, this is Mountain Man. I appreciate you all spending your precious time. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. This is Mountain Man, over and out.